we have two main things left to do. We have to attach something on both the top and the bottom to hold these things together, because notice right now they're mated together, but that's like in virtual reality, they're stuck together, right? They're not actually physically tied together at all right now. We have to have a belly pan on the bottom, and on top we put gusset plates, which are going to interfere with these holes right here. Hey, let's go back into our front. We're going to go back into our riv nuts. Isn't it nice that we have that already labeled? Instead of 4 inches, let's make this, I don't know, 8 inches. That's a lot more than we need, but that's okay. We'll make them 8 inches for now. Okay. Now if we go back to our main drivetrain, those riv nuts are plenty far over there now. We are going to need rivet holes in the top, here, here, and here, and we're going to need a gusset plate on top. Okay. We're going to do our gusset plate first because the belly pan is very similar to it, only on the bottom, okay? Well, I shouldn't say that. We're going to do a number of different things with the belly pan too, okay? So hang in there with me. Let's do plus down here and create Part Studio. Okay, create Part Studio. In our Part Studio, I'm going to rename it right away to Gusset Plate. Okay. Our gusset plate, the way I'm going to CAD this is I'm going to CAD it from the top down so that it's a plate like that, so it lays flat on top. It's a little bit easier than having to rotate something later on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sketch on the top here. So I'm going to hit top here. Now I'm just nicely framed up. Everything looks good. Okay. I'm going to use this one here, the center point rectangle, so that I just put it right in the center. And I'm going to do one portion of my gusset plate. Now, my gusset plate is going to be a T here, okay? But we're going to start with just this base piece of it. And we know our aluminum is 1 inch wide, so this should be 1 inch. And we're going to make our gusset plate here 3.7. Don't ask me why. This is just what our gusset plates are in the shop. I didn't make these originally, but I'm going to keep rolling with them because so far they've worked really well with us, okay? Now the other thing we have to do, I'm going to switch over to a corner rectangle, and I'm going to put my T right here, okay? Now, a couple things here. I'm going to dimension again. Dang, I go fast when I do this. I hit D on my keyboard. I need to slow down a little bit. Hit D on my keyboard, bring it over to dimension, and I want 1. Well, wait, how do I know this is centered here? This is what I do. Okay, I could, wait a second. Yeah, okay. What I like doing is sometimes just offsetting it so that I know that, hey, it's not constrained at all and I have no idea what that should be or where it should be aligned. What I want it to be is aligned right in the center here, right? So I'm going to put a center point in here. I'm going to go up here and hit point. I'm going to highlight the point that's right in the center of this line. Okay, so I just dropped a point in right there. Right, now how do I shift it over to the center here? This little nifty constraint. Coincident. We're going to take, and it takes a dot and a line. So you highlight the dot and you highlight the line and it moves it over. That is an awesome little constraint right there. I didn't have to dimension it. So the other way I would have had to do it was to say, okay, I'm going to dimension from maybe this point to here. I'm going to take half of 3.7 minus 1 divided by 2 and figure out what my distance is here. And in fact, I can bring that up. And by the way, this would be something that is driven, not driving, because I have constraints all around here already determining that it's 1.335 inches. I'm going to get rid of that because I don't really need it. Okay, so it aligned it very nicely for me. Okay, now I also happen to know, and I'm going to dimension this as well, from this part of the plate to this part of the plate is 2.39 inches. Okay, that's what they are in the shop. Now, everything is black. It's all set up for us. We know we've got everything dimensioned, and we know we've got everything constrained appropriately. Okay, now we can do our rivet holes. Now, these rivet holes are very similar to the other ones, and some of them aren't exactly the same. So we're going to do, you know how we did our little pattern before? We're going to have 4 here. Except, hold on, dang. Control Z, Control Z. Here we go, back to our circle tool. We are going to mirror this time. Ooh, did you see that? Don't put a constraint there. Don't put a circle there where I have a constraint. Move it up here. Okay. I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now, let's constrain some of these things vertically. This one and this one. This one and this one. This one and this one. Okay. Got our vertical constraints down. Let's do some horizontal constraints. This one, this one, this one, and this one. All right, how we got them. Okay, now we're going to get some more of these. Now, don't worry about what's on the other side of this line right now. I'll show you how we're going to mirror this in a second. It's just going to show up on the right-hand side. Okay. Now, we know our rivet holes are all the same size, right? So let's take one of these down here, and I'm going to move this out of the way here, down here. 0.191 to rivet hole size. Now we can go up here and choose our equals, and we can start constraining again. This one and this one, this one and this one. This way, if your coach ever comes by and tells you, oh, hey, that's not the size of the rivet hole we need anymore, we just bought new rivets and they need to be something different, you can come into your document and just like one spot in each one of these tabs, change it to a different dimension, and you're off and rolling again, okay? So we've got all these constrained to the 0.191 for rivet hole size. All right, let's do this then. We're going to dimension. Yeah, okay. Do some more dimensioning here between this one and this one. 0.409. Okay. Then down here, we're going to do the same thing between this one and this one. 0.409. And that automatically did between this one and this one because they're aligned. Between this and this, 0.409. All right. Now, we also want to make sure that just like in our other ones, between here and here, no, I did that wrong. That's okay. Probably doesn't matter that much, but I'm going to change this. So that from the end of our gusset to the first hole, and from the end here to the first hole is 0.25. And then from the edge in is 0.2, from the edge in is 0.2, okay? Otherwise, everything is 0.409 apart. Everything's black, everything is dimensioned, right? Now, this makes it really quick and easy. This mirror tool up here, this is your friend too. If you know that you have something that is absolutely mirrored and is not going to change, click the mirror tool. Now it says select a mirror line. We want this line right here to be our mirror line so that everything on flips to the other side of it. So I'm going to select it. I'm going to select this hole right here. Boom, it appears. Boom, again. Boom, 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 boom. Hopefully you all did the sound effect while you were at home. Boom, boom, boom. Anyway, dead humor for you. Okay, look at that. It's a gusset plate. You got all your holes here. This is perfect. Okay, there's only a couple things left to do. We're gonna go ahead and do this. We're gonna take our sketch and we're gonna extrude it 0.09. That's how thick our aluminum is for a gusset plates, 0.09. And okay. Now, our gusset plates have nice rounded corners on them. This doesn't have nice rounded corners, so we're going to make nice rounded corners next. This is one of the few times I use a fillet tool. It's actually strong. Anyway, I'm not going to get into the whys. we're going to use the fillet tool, and later on I'll explain when we use some of these things. Now the fillet has to work on an edge, so I have to rotate this slightly, zoom in a little bit here, and select an edge. Now that's an outer edge. I can also do an inner edge. Ooh, doesn't that look nice? Ooh, fillet, fillet, fillet. I'm just going all the way around this thing, right? And I am filleting all over the place. Okay. Now look at all those fillets, nice round corners everywhere. Now you can change the radius if you want to. You could make it, 0.4. It's gonna make big, much more of a sweep, right? 0.2 is probably fine, okay? And go from there. And there's other parameters too. We don't really need any of it. We're just trying to make it look decent. Now, we could cut out 1 million of these, make them the same, and we'd have them ready each year. To be honest with you, we use very similar gusset plates all the time, okay? That's our gusset plate. All right, now we gotta get on our robot. Let's go back to our main drivetrain. Wait. Here's what I'm gonna do. That's no fun. I'm gonna go into my part here. We're gonna rename it gusset plate. And then I'm gonna change the appearance. I'm gonna leave it solid, by the way. I'm just gonna make it like purple. There. Okay. Choose your color, have fun with it. All right, now I'm gonna go over here and we're gonna start placing these. We have 4 of these to place. Insert, gusset plate. Well, that's weird. Yeah. I don't know why it's not purple everywhere. All righty, I got my 4 gusset plates out here. Now, how to place these things. This is where we're going to connect this gusset plate to, and we're going to put it right here. But it's not like I can't put it right where I want it right here. That's kind of a problem. Like I can't get it right in this spot. I can't get it. Oh, I can get it at the end of this tube, but that's kind of funny. I don't want it attached to this tube. I want it attached to this tube. So let's put it right here. And then notice my colors again. I've got green going off on this direction. So let's move this thing. Green direction. I think it's going to be negative 3.5. Okay. So if I do, remember it's 3 inches in. 3.5 inches in is halfway on this plate. Okay. So now that make connector right here lines up perfectly halfway on this plate. That means that I should be able to connect this. So let me accept this. So, okay, negative 3.5, I moved it over here, and it lines up, okay? Now I've got a connector right where I want this to be connected. So now I do my fastener, my fasten mate, and I'm gonna choose that connector, and I want on the bottom of this plate. So I'm gonna zoom around that plate on the bottom, and I want it to look just like that. Okay, let's go back on the top. Look at that. Look at them berries. Okay. Notice it is perfectly aligned right on top now. Don't worry that it's not aligned with the rivet holes on the top. By the way, there's no rivet holes. We don't have any rivet holes for this to attach to yet. It's just aligned there. Okay? That's it. That's exactly where we want it. Okay. Now, if you don't want that connector to show, you can just turn it off over here. I don't like those connectors always to show. It just depends. But, it's there. It is sliced right in between these 2 pieces, right? Is that connector. Okay. Now, as you guessed it, I have to do that with all these. You say, well, that's a pain. That's where CADing is a little bit repetitive, but that's okay. This one right here, we're going to turn 180 degrees. I started out and then I hit 180, make the rest of the turn. Do the same thing here. Start the turn. I don't care where it stops. I type in 180, hit return, makes the full turn. That way I don't have to guess and try and do anything weird. All right. I'll get these placed in a minute. I'll go up here somewhere. Whatever. this one down here. We're going to repeat this process now. So you're going to see this a couple times. We're going to put that connector down here, this make connector first, but right here. I want to make sure I'm getting it on the right edge, right there. I'm going to move it. Notice my green, ooh, yeah, my green goes off to the left. Kind of see it right there. That means it goes in a positive direction, 3.5 inches. Boom, that make connector's over. Make connector's in the right spot. Now I need to actually do my fastener. Choose my make connector. I rotate my piece so I can do it on the bottom, and I made it. If you're not used to doing these mates, it does take a little while to get this like right. It's not always just easy to get the first time, let's put it that way. Hopefully you all have lots of practice now connecting things up on this diagram, okay? And again, if you want to get rid of these so it doesn't look like you got connectors all over the place, it's cool. You can always make it look nice like that, okay?